Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Hudson McKenzie's podcast, where we discuss and explore the latest immigration trends, policies, and changes that impact businesses. My name's Sabina Ali, and in today's episode, we're diving into the crucial world of immigration compliance. Immigration enforcement is increasing globally. In the UK alone, we have seen a staggering increase in sponsor license revocations in 2024, making it very clear that enforcement actions are intensifying. So let's get into it. I'm joined by Francesca, our lovely global immigration expert. And Francesca, you recently completed your studies, didn't you, in human resources and global mobility? And your dissertation, in fact, achieving effective immigration compliance. You explored some fascinating research on compliance. Do you want to tell us a bit about this interesting topic and why you chose it?
Oh, yes, of course. My focus was on understanding the core principles of immigration compliance across different countries. One of the biggest challenge HR and global mobility teams face is keeping up with constant changes in immigration laws, policies, and application procedures. These shifts are often influenced by political, economic, and social factors, making it difficult for global teams to stay informed while ensuring compliance.
Yes, agreed. It is difficult because it's constantly changing. So what exactly is immigration compliance?
Well, we can say that immigration compliance refers to the legal framework governing the entry, stay, and employment of foreign nationals in a given country. It involves adhering to national and international immigration laws and regulations, which define the condition under which individuals can reside, work, study, or invest in the host country. From a corporate perspective, immigration compliance also encompasses the legal responsibilities companies must fulfill when hiring foreign employees or transferring staff internationally. So ensuring compliance helps businesses align with immigration laws, mitigate legal risk, and avoid penalties, while effectively managing their global workforce.
So there's a lot of responsibility on companies who are employing these migrant workers now. But how do different countries approach immigration?
Immigration policies vary widely across countries. These are shaped by economic priorities, labor market demands, political landscape, and social integration strategies. While each nation establishes its own set of immigration laws, all governments face common challenges, such as addressing labor shortages, managing demographic shifts, maintaining national securities, and responding to political and public attitudes regarding migration. For example, in the EU, immigration policy is shared responsibility between its member states. So while individual countries retain control over their own borders and national immigration regulations, the EU has developed a coordinated framework, particularly concerning the movement of non-EU nationals. This includes common policies on visas and residence permits, aiming to create a more harmonized approach while still allowing member states to implement country-specific rules based on their unique social and economic needs. If you look at, beyond the EU, approaches to immigration vary significantly. For example, some countries like Canada, Australia, and the UK use points-based system to attract skilled workers based on factors such as education, work experience, language proficiency. The United States provides various ways for immigrants with valuable skills to come to the country on either a temporary or permanent basis. Japan's immigration policy, completely different story. Japan immigration policy is highly structured with strict visa categories based on work, study, or residency status. Recent revisions, such as the creation of the specified skilled worker visa types, reflect the country's effort to attract more foreign workers to address labor shortages.
Yes, that's interesting. And with immigration compliance, globally, I suppose there are some key components that, are very similar on what immigration compliance is. What would you say are the key components of corporate immigration compliance?
Well, effective corporate immigration compliance involves several critical components. For example, right-to-work checks. Employers are required to verify that employees have the legal right to work in the country and maintaining proper documentations. Also, work authorization and visa management. This area involves ensuring that all foreign employees have the correct and valid work visas or permits, and these are maintained and renewed as needed. Accurate and comprehensive record keeping is also vital for demonstrating compliance with immigration law. As an example, maintaining the expiration dates of work permits or passports, tracking any changes in deployment status, and being able to provide these documents in case of inspection. Also, if the company sponsors employees for visa, for example, like EU Blue Card, they must ensure they meet all the obligations of sponsorship, including fair wages and working conditions. In some countries, before hiring or transferring foreign workers, business must prove they've made an effort to hire locally. Procedure for labor market tests change in each country. Lastly, compliance with local anti-discrimination laws is fundamental in recruitment and employment practices. Organizations must ensure that the hiring processes are fair and equitable, treating all candidates equally regardless of their nationality, race, and immigration status. These involve implementing policies and training programs that promote diversity and inclusion, as well as establishing mechanisms to address any complaints of discrimination that may arise.
So, I mean, so it looks like immigration compliance and the key aspects of what that is are quite common per location and country, like across the globe. And you know, we as advisors, we always advise our clients on, you know, how they must remain compliant, and what they need to do, and, you know, right to work checks, make sure that your employee has the right to work in that country, you have accurate records, etc. So that is quite a common practice. But what are the risks associated with non-compliance in immigration, Francesca? If you can explain that to
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Non-compliance can lead to legal, operational, financial, and also reputational risks. Common issues include applying for the wrong type of work permit, failing to meet the condition of a granted permit, or, for example, starting employment before permit approval. These can result in fines, legal penalties, and damages also to the company's reputation.
Yes, quite. That's you know, quite hefty sort of penalties that can result in non-compliance. So, Francesca, when it comes to implementing a strong immigration compliance policy, what are the key areas organizations should be focusing on?
Well, I would say that the foundation of an effective immigration compliance policy lies in clear communication, structured training, and well-defined roles and responsibilities within the organization, and also work with a trusted immigration partner.
Sure. So, implementing a strong immigration policy can be complex, but what key strategies should organizations focus on to ensure effectiveness?
Well, as I mentioned, a well-structured immigration compliance policy relies on, I would say, probably three key pillars: training, communication, and defines roles and responsibilities. First, regular training sessions are essential for employees and management involving global mobility and compliance. These sessions should cover immigration laws, compliance, procedures, required documentation, and risk management strategies to ensure everyone understands their obligations. Second, I would say effective communication is critical. Awareness campaign through newsletter, internet updates, and informational seminars help employees stay informed. Providing accessible reference material such as policy handbooks and FAQs ensure consistency across departments and regions. Encouraging employees' feedback on training and policies also help refine the approach over time, so it's beneficial. And finally, defining clear roles and responsibility ensures accountability as well. So a designated compliance officer should oversee documentation, conduct regular audits, and coordinate with legal advisors. HR and legal teams must collaborate. HR manage the employees' related immigration processes, while legal ensures policies align with evolving laws.
Great. So while immigration compliance is crucial, as we can see from what we've just discussed, are there other important areas organisations should focus on when they're managing their international assignments or hiring non-national employees?
Yes, absolutely. While immigration compliance ensures that employees have the legal right to live and work in a country, there are several other critical factors that must be carefully managed by companies and by employees to ensure full compliance and a smooth global workforce experience. For example, some of the key areas outside the scope of immigration compliance include things such as taxation, so understanding tax obligation for both employees and employers, including double taxation treaties and tax equalization policies. Then you have other things such as ensuring compliance with international social security agreements and determining whether contributions should be made in the home country or the host country, and also labor law, adhering to employment regulations, contracts, working conditions, and employment rights to specific to the country. And we never forget the duty of care. Employers have a legal and ethical responsibility to ensure the well-being and safety of employees on international assignments, including health insurance, emergency support, and cultural adaptation programs. So these areas require a coordinated approach between HR, legal, finance, and mobility teams to ensure that organizations not only comply with immigration laws, but also meet broader international employment regulations and obligations.
So it takes a village or, well, a team to ensure that, companies are complying with immigration laws. I mean, you lost me at tax there, Francesca, so I would definitely need some help on a lot of those areas. But it's really interesting, and thank you very much for, firstly for your carrying out the research for your dissertation and for joining me on this podcast.
Thanks to you, Sabina.
Thank you. And so if this brings us to the end of this episode, and please do look out and listen out for our next episode in the series. But for now, goodbye.